Hey guys, it's SnazzyBox here, and welcome to the first episode of the EgoSurf Podcast. I am joined by my good buddy Robo Man over here, or Robo on YouTube. Robo, say hi.
Hey guys, it's me, Roboman, or Robo as some people call me. I'm only the best YouTuber around, and you should definitely continue to watch this podcast to see how funny and cool I am. Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm only one of the coolest robots you'll ever meet, so, come on this journey with me on this podcast.
So, on this podcast, we talk about basically, generally speaking, social media with a focus on Fortnite, and me and Robo have been talking about doing a podcast forever, and
Forever.
yeah, forever.
Forever.
We've existed on the internet talking about this forever, and Fortnite is a game we love, and there was a lot to talk about today, which is why we kind of were like, okay, we got to jump the gun and make this video finally, because there's a lot to talk about. Specifically, the downfall of Fortnite, as people are calling it on Twitter.
In quotation marks, the downfall of Fortnite. It's bad, but it's not that bad, guys. Come on, we clutch up.
Yeah, we clutch up.
This is epic game.
So before we talk about that, I do want to introduce both of us, because most of the audience here is probably not going to know either of us if you're a new viewer. So to begin, my name is SnazzyBlocks, and I originally was mostly a YouTuber. I'm now just mostly Twitter. I have a large following on Twitter, and I post general Fortnite discussion posts. And I also used to run a Discord server, which is where I met Robo. And we're both into anime. That's another thing we might talk about a lot on this podcast.
Depends if there's anything interesting going on, which, guys, there's nothing going on in the anime community. There's literally nothing. Nothing is happening.
There's
Please
nothing
save
happening. So, and then Robo, you want to just tell us what you do on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. I make a lot of anime discussion videos, mainly on my favorite anime, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but recently I've been branching out and doing some more video game reviews, which are always fun. I do have a Twitter, though I'm not very active on it. I usually retweet art and talk about JoJo sometimes, and that's about it. I'm not the most active on there, but on YouTube, I'm actually doing rather good, and I'm pretty happy with what's going on right now.
Yeah,
So
YouTube.
check that out if you want.
Yeah, your new review is done very well. I saw it's got like 400 views now, maybe.
Yeah, it's actually doing better than a lot of my other videos when they first come out. I have this thing of where a video will come out, it will do okay, then like one day it will just like explode into like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views. This one is just steadily going up, which is always nice to see.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Well, we're very lovable people, and we love Fortnite, and we hope that you guys feel at home with us. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the downfall of Fortnite. A big thing happened today. Specifically, 830 employees were laid off, or 830 plus employees were laid off at Epic Games.
I'm assuming it's more like closer to 900.
Closer to 900, it seems.
Yeah.
That original stat was very, like, from the beginning of what's been coming out. But the big thing that happened a few weeks ago was that Donald Mustard stepped down. Now, me and Robo both talked about this, when this happened. It just never is a good sign when your creative officer is stepping down. Like, usually they don't it didn't feel right. Like, if you're the head of a giant game and you're super successful and you're happy with your job, you don't just quit, you know?
Yeah, no. Especially because Donald Mustard is relatively not that old to be in the gaming industry. He's like maybe late 40s. He's pretty young for the gaming industry. So it doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Yeah, I just didn't see it didn't make sense. It didn't feel natural, and then shortly after that, we lost. I can't remember his name. I think it was Cregan or something. A couple veteran staff have quit.
Like veteran staff, like 15 years plus developers, which is just wild.
Yeah. So that just happened to happen right after he quit, and then after that, we lost. Yesterday. Right? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yesterday they increased V-Buck price. Their there's a planned V-Buck increase price on the 27th. So while you can buy V-Bucks while they're cheap, or cheaper,
Yeah.
and yeah, there was a bit of an outrage from that. And honestly, I was making the connection like, obviously this is happening. This is happening right after Donald Mustard quits, and that just sounds like a very corporate, like we need money
Yeah.
situation.
We were talking about yesterday. Snazzy made a great point. I'm just gonna quote him. He basically said that there's something internal going on with Epic, and that is the only reason why they would really have to increase V-Buck prices. They wouldn't do it for no reason. There's clearly a reason why they would do it. There's a process at hand. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you only have to look as far as the comp scene. I mean, comp scene I feel like is the thing that you can do less with, especially if you're
Oh yeah,
Fortnite. And if you're
definitely.
giving away the Rice Hub video, me and Robo both watched this. Rice Hub's a great YouTuber, highly recommend him. He made a video about Cash Cup, the amount of money that they were giving away, right? That was the video,
Yeah.
and it's like they're clearly not low on money. It's not a financial issue. It's clearly
They,
a yeah.
yeah. They are giving away less, but it's still tons of money. Fortnite gives away the most money out of any esports game, I think, ever. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a no-brainer. They're doing fine. It's still concerning that they laid off this many employees while they're making this much money. It's most likely not that they're losing money now, but they're probably aware that if they keep on going in the same way that they're going right now, they're going to start losing money. So therefore, they have to lay off employees a bit earlier before they start going in the red. That's what I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, and I can understand. Like, listen, anyone who says this is about inflation is just wrong, in my opinion. I don't think it's about that at all.
Guys, the U.S. might be $7.1 trillion in debt, but but that is not affecting the Fortnite ecosystem. This is a Fortnite problem.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, the FTC thing didn't help a lot, probably, but I mean,
Yeah, the refund thing. Plus their lawsuit with Apple. They were just bleeding money at that point.
yeah.
It's
So, I mean, it's clear. I don't think it's a problem of finances. I think it's really a problem of clearly the passionate people at the top that have had more power in the past have clearly lost their creative. When you suppress creativity, people can't do what they're passionate about. So you're gonna lose people like Donald Mustard, who's like, you know what? I don't want to work in an environment like this. Uh, and I mean, we have the perfect example of Jeff Kaplan from Overwatch. Robo, you've played Overwatch.
I have I used to play it a ton. Like you, I would assume you also used to
Yeah,
play it a lot.
OG
Yeah,
Overwatch. I think
definitely.
everyone liked OG. One of the things about OG Overwatch is that it felt like it had a soul. Like there's like
Yup.
a part of the game that you felt like, okay, these devs clearly care about what they're making.
Seriously, dude, I remember when we would get animated stories that were like 5 to 10 minutes long. Every 3 months, we would get a new Overwatch animation, and that
Yeah.
really shown their passion to the story that they were creating.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get that anymore. But OG Overwatch, like 2016 to like even like 2019, that game was still going strong.
Yep.
Pandemic hit, Jeff Kaplan left. It went to shit.
Well,
It
yeah,
died.
and I mean, I went to BlizzCon and he announced like the plans for Overwatch 2, and it was like, wow, this sounds awesome. And then he just quit, and you're like sitting here like, clearly something's wrong. And then you find out
I
PVE got canceled. So
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Jeff Kaplan was trying to make the PvE in Overwatch, and then they were like, yeah, we'll do it, and then somewhere around through development of Overwatch 2, they told him they weren't going to do it, but they still kept on saying that they were going to do it to the public. I would assume that he was probably the most passionate about PvE, and it's very
hmm
possible that Overwatch, as just Blizzard as a group, kind of left him hanging. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, we have the example of Jeff Kaplan, and Donald Mustard is basically our Jeff Kaplan, and he quit. And now we're seeing all these crazy, weird, all these things happen relatively soon after that. After him
Yeah,
quitting.
dude. The similarities between these problems are actually uncanny. It is like generally concerning as a person that played Overwatch a lot back in the day, and as a person who plays Fortnite now, it is kind of upsetting to see this happen a second
Yeah.
time. It's a very similar situation.
And then everyone's gonna forget once Chapter 5 comes out, and then because Fortnite will put out the new shiny toy, and everyone's like, and then
yeah. I'm assuming we are getting a season 5 of Chapter.
we are.
Yeah. I wonder if the racing game mode will come out next season or it'll come out next chapter. I think if it comes out next season, that'd be kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly. I think and we'll talk about this with creative, but I think Fortnite has a plan, and I think that. And I was telling Robo about this before we started the episode. Obviously there's growing pains with everything with what we do or with Fortnite, and because it's gone through so many different phases, and with creative, I mean we can both agree I think UEFN was not ready entirely.
Yeah, no, they took UEFN out of the oven half baked, and oh boy, it shows. Even if that roadmap is true, we're not waiting a year for new stuff. We're waiting like 3 years for new stuff, which is not great. Kind of concerning. In my opinion.
Yeah, and with a UEFN that's not capable of doing like creating your own weapons, creating your own maneuvers, designing new game modes beyond the stuff that's already possible in Creative 1.0.
UEFN right now is basically Creative 1.0, but it looks better. Like, oh, okay, you can make the same Blue versus Red, Zone Wars, gun game, adventure maps, right? But the actual game that you're playing doesn't change. You will not see like a MMORPG, a first-person shooter, a strategy puzzle game in Creative for a very long time, I would assume. Probably 2 to 3 years before we actually get to that point. Because right now, it's just Creative maps, but oh, we imported Skibbity Toilet. Oh my god, Big Chungus is in my map. It's so bad.
It doesn't help that like the memory limit is so freaking small, and there's not enough room to get creative even with what is available because you're so limited.
I don't see why they're still having a memory limit. It's not like people on mobile can play Fortnite really. Mobile is not really real. And the reason why it was capped at 100,000 was because of mobile players. But they don't exist anymore. So what's the deal?
And honestly, I think there should be a rule that if your device can't handle a certain game mode, then you should just not be able to load into it. I think they should just do that.
Exactly. People that can afford PCs and next-gen consoles should not be held back by people that are playing on mobile.
Yeah, it's silly. Obviously, this has been going rampant on Twitter. I mean, just for me alone, the posts that I've put out have 1,200 likes and 1,000 likes each in the last 2 hours. So that's like it's actually very abnormal for my Twitter account. I usually get decent views, but I don't get that kind of that doesn't happen typically.
Especially instantly, like 2 hours ago, level instantly.
Yeah. And so you have all the leakers and people talking about who's being, obviously the people who got fired are talking about the fact that they got fired. And heart goes out to them. I hope that they find jobs that, at companies that care about them.
It's actually very interesting because a lot of people that they fired, I'm pretty sure are not even working on Fortnite. A lot of people that they fired are working on their sub games like Fall Guys and Rocket League, which is like, whoa. That is a hit to the face for people that like, oh, Epic Games bought a game that I like. Let's see if Epic Games can make it succeed. Like I have a friend, his name's Trace. Rocket League is one of his favorite games. He was so excited when Epic bought Rocket League. We got like 2 years into it, and he is like actually upset on what they've done to the game. It has only gotten worse.
They've taken the monetization structure and the way that they push content for Fortnite and then applied it to the games that they buy.
But it didn't work for Rocket League really.
Yeah,
it kind of actually backfired.
I talked about this with Overwatch. When Overwatch 2 swapped and they decided to change their monetization structure, I don't mind that there's microtransactions in that game. The problem with the microtransactions themselves though is that you have a game where you have skins that sometimes were given certain rarities for how hard they were to get versus the design even. And you're dealing with a game that's a first-person shooter, not a game where you're like getting to look at your skin at all the time. And so the way that people spend money in games is different depending on how the game plays, what the game allows you to do. It's you can't just take a structure in a game and then just apply it everywhere. It just doesn't work. So, yeah.
Yeah, just companies saw that Fortnite's monetization is good, which yes, it is still very good. I love the item shop and I love battle passes. At least Fortnite's ones are very good. But Overwatch took that and they applied it to their game, but it didn't really work the same at all. It honestly made that game worse in my opinion. There was a
Hmm.
point in time where I played a lot of Overwatch and I would love the system of, oh, I level up, I have a chance of getting a legendary. And they removed that. Now I have to spend $20 to $25 to get a legendary skin.
On a
And
skin that you don't really care about even too. Is the
yeah,
thing.
exactly. It's bad. It's not a good monetization for that specific game. Fortnite, it works because in Fortnite you aren't buying one skin for one character. You are buying one skin that you can use whatever, and that comes with a back bling and comes with challenges and comes with the edit style.
Yeah, and you can
That's why
combine
it works.
it. You can combine it with your pickaxe, your
Exactly.
wrap, and
You buy
everything.
a singular Fortnite skin and you have hundreds of different ways to use it.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. It just doesn't work for Overwatch though,
So,
sadly.
speaking of who got fired, one of the big ones that surprised me was the let me give you guys a better look at this. Freight Train, the community manager for Save the World, was laid off. And I'm just sitting here like, Save the World kind of like was already struggling, and it's not. I don't. There's no way they're spending that much money on that game.
Nah,
There's no way that
there's no
firing
way.
that guy is going to give them some sort of like boost. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Robo, you played Save the World, right?
Oh, dude, I played a ton of Save the World back in the day. Save the World is unironically a pretty fun time once you start getting into it, especially those
Hmm.
V-Bucks used to get for dailies, which
And then
they
you
also
fire the
removed.
people that make that game fun, and then
Yeah, it's looking in a direction where Fortnite is in a transition period where a lot of their old staff is being replaced with new ones. That doesn't mean it's particularly bad. It's a transition.
yeah,
It's a hard transition. This is like if you're driving 70 in a highway and there's a sharp turn. Like you're gonna crash.
yeah.
There's gonna be a roadblock there. You're gonna get hit by something bad, and that's what's clearly happening to the game right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Analogy level.
you can look at companies like Blizzard, who have lost almost all of their original staff that were making games that they were
They
passionate
also
about.
lost all my respect
Yeah,
as a
and,
company too. Yeah.
you're dealing with a company. The problem, it's fine to replace people. What's not okay is that you're like, I mean, you can look at Baldur's Gate 3. You have a team of people that love D&D, and they're making a game that's built for that, and they love it. And it's a game that you can see the passion in. When you have a game that's existed for a long period of time, or a franchise that's existed for a long period of time, and then you replace those people with new people that don't have any history with that franchise, you lose that like
You lose the
love
soul.
in the
Yeah,
craft. And
exactly.
so I understand replacing people. It has to happen. But when you lose large amounts of them because of corporate decisions out of greed, um, yeah, you're gonna have issues. Um, the thing that we haven't talked about yet, Robo, is why they said they've done it. Um, what were the
So,
reasoning? What was the reasoning? You read it, right?
yeah, basically they're okay. I'm gonna try to symbolize this for all you Neanderthal there. um, Fortnite go. Let's make creative mode good. They try to make it good. UEFN is no good, but UEFN makes people lots of money. People that make $100 million off of UEFN are getting paid more there than their employees. And to keep up with supporting those UEFN maps, like Sigma male versus woman zone wars, like maps like that get like 10 million plays monthly. They have to now spend more money on doing that than actually paying their employees, and that's basically the reasoning for laying a bunch of people off, is because of creative needing more money.
Yeah,
Basically, in hindsight, Fortnite put all their cards into creative mode and they shot themselves in the foot.
yeah.
Basically. They fucked up,
It kind of just kind of like Overwatch 2. They decided to move all their resources away from Overwatch 1, and guess what game died over the couple years that they were developing Overwatch 2? and then Overwatch 2 came out and it was a piece of crap. The thing that Fortnite has going for it is that UEFN has a chance to redeem itself at some point.
Yeah.
Versus Overwatch. But yeah, they put all their they don't have the money because of UEFN, and
Basically,
it's
shout out to Atlas Creative though for that video, by the way, we were just showing.
oh yeah,
Bring that up again. Yeah, let me see them.
and that's
yeah, billions of plays, right? Yeah. See, we're having NBA collabs and Breast comes on and he goes, guys, I'm gonna give away 100 million. Like, that's crazy. Cypher PKs here, clicks, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that as much as Fortnite has these brands willing to collaborate with them, I see like 10 people playing these maps.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It sucks. It sucks. No one's playing the Alienware the Pit map. No one's playing that. No one is. It sucks.
Creatives. We've talked about. We already talked about this a little bit, but yeah, UEFN came out half baked, and we have a mode that's struggling, and it's making it. They promise a certain amount of money, and obviously their staff they can't pay their staff because of it, and I'm like, the thing is that they're raising prices for V-Bucks too at the same time, and firing a ton of people. I'm just like sitting there like, guys, you guys are making, and you own you own Unreal Engine 5. There is no way you don't have the money to do both. I don't believe you. And anyone who says it's inflation, I guarantee you it's not that. It's really annoying.
Inflation doesn't affect the higher ups at Epic Games. They make way too much money for inflation to really affect them. It's just not affecting them at all. Like Tim Sweeney, he goes home in his G-Wagon while getting Popeyes on the way there. He sits down in his king-size bed with his wife and his 2 kids, and he dreams about Fortnite creative for 12 hours, right? By the way, Tim Sweeney, I love you. If you're watching this, I hope you are.
Yeah, we love you, Tim Sweeney.
You don't answer my DMs, but it's okay. It's fine. What I'm trying to get at is that people that make tons of money, like Tim Sweeney, Donald Mustard, Mark Rain, for example, the higher-ups, or Donald that was at Epic, inflation doesn't affect them really, almost at all. It's just not possible. Though the smaller people at Epic, like a lot of the developers got laid off, probably is going to be bad for them if they don't get hired soon. Yeah. Though they do have 6 months. I saw this somewhere.
6 month pension.
6 months severance or whatever. Yeah. Really nice of Epic to do that.
It's unfortunate, and I feel like I know it's a growing pain. I have faith that Epic Games can make UEFN into something amazing. But I mean, Robo, you scroll through creative mode and it's just red versus blue, red versus blue, red versus blue.
It's garbage maps.
Baby run, guys, baby run.
It's so bad. It's so bad, guys. Fortnite. Okay, guys, I don't like Roblox. I want to make that clear. Roblox, half of Roblox, no. 90% of Roblox is just pure and it's just cancer. It's just bad. It's terrible, right? It is actually just not good maps, okay? But the thing about Roblox is that there is a 10% of maps that are actually very well made and very competent and very good. The same problem is with creative. There are a couple creative maps that I think are phenomenal that I have replayed several occasions, mainly adventure maps, horror maps, and even some Zone Wars. The problem is that you have to look for those maps out of hundreds of thousands of maps that are literally just brain rot. It's just brain rot. It's terrible.
Yeah, like the amount of only up clones that happened after after that one map. Hold on, I gotta add your subscribe to or check out Robo on YouTube. It's infuriating. I don't understand how that happens, and I understand how it happens. It's from people see the amount of money that they could be making, and they make tons of crap that little kids like, and it's because UEFN's incapable of making anything that's worth watching or playing. Besides the creative 1.0 stuff that they've already made. Anyway.
Are you gonna leave you changing the
yes.
thing in the video? Okay,
yes.
Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, that works for that.
It's fine. Yeah. So the next thing we have to talk about.
Everything is fine, guys.
Definitely. Well, the thing is, I kind of duplicated it, and then it apparently caused.
Guys, we're having technical difficulties. This is tragic. First episode. We can't even handle we can't even handle using OBS correctly.
We fell off.
We fell off. Snazzy fell off. I fell off.
So the next thing we need to talk about, obviously, is the storyline. Because that's what Donald Mustard does.
Oh boy, storyline. I haven't seen that in years.
Someone on Fortnite, or someone on Twitter, I mean, mentioned that we haven't heard Jonesy speak since chapter 2 or chapter 3 season 2. And I was like, holy crap, he's right. I like the fact that that's true. There's so many indicators. If you just go back farther and farther, you start to see like the storyline really did start to fall off at some point. And I really am curious how long Donald Mustard's just not been as instrumental, in the process of Fortnite's storyline that did exist.
Well, he actually says, by the way, in chapter 2, season 7, he said, this part of my story, this part of the Fortnite story is my favorite part, and the next one too. And then there's 2 more things after that. I would assume that he started retiring around mid-chapter 3, right after Zero Build season, because the only things that he referenced was chapter 2, season 8 Cube stuff, chapter 3, season 1, 7 stuff, and then the IO versus 7 season. He doesn't mention anything past then. It's very possible that is where he got to in the story before being like, damn, Epic, what the hell? I'm leaving. And then he probably left around the end of chapter 3. Yeah. I would assume that Fracture, that dog shit event, was probably the last time that he was in office at Epic. So.
Last time he was in office, you think?
Oh, dude. No, maybe not in the actual Epic offices, but at least doing his job. Very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say that chapter 3, season 4, Chrome, Paradise, whatever you want to call it, that season, Chrome stuff.
Yeah.
It was probably the last season he was in charge.
And I always forget, like, the amount of things that he has made happen in Fortnite is kind of mind-blowing. But, like, with collabs, right? You can look at just collabs today. They happen, like, almost, there's always some massive collab, like, every freaking update. And it's, like, I'm happy with that we get collabs. But they're just tied to release dates now. Before, like, the Hunter season of Chapter 2, Season 5, you had Mando, you had the Predator, you had, who else? The Terminator and Sarah Connor.
Oh my god, yeah, that season was great.
You had collabs tied to the story. You know what I mean? Like, that is 100%
Donald Mustard. Like, oh my god, new season of Jujutsu Kaisen came out. Let's add Gojo. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Why did we get Futurama in chapter 4, season 3? Like, I love that show, but like.
But you want to know why we got it? Because the reboot of the show came out, and that's just like, okay, I see. What happens here is Hulu, who owns Futurama, assuming, went to Epic and was like, hey guys, we're making a reboot of Futurama. We'll give you like this amount of money, but we take half the proceeds from the skins. Here's the money to make them, and here's the license. And Epic was like, okay, cool. They did it. They probably broke even or made a bit more, and they went on with their day. That doesn't mean it's great, but that's how Epic operates, I would assume, and that's what's going on. To be fair, we don't actually know what goes on in Epic because we have no idea. We probably would not have found out about this unless Epic Games employees came out and started talking about it, which thankfully they did.
Yeah. And speaking of the Wild season and the other season, didn't we find out both of those were maybe planned for like chapter 3?
Oh yeah. So the Mega season and the Wild season were both planned for chapter 3, but what I'm assuming happened is that Donald was like, "Hey guys, I want to retire," and Epic was like, "Shit, we gotta wrap up the chapter this instant," and then they just scrambled to put it all together, and that's why Fracture turned out the way it did. Fractured my mind on how someone at Epic went, yeah, this is a good, this is top quality. This definitely one's up on Mech versus IO thing. Yeah.
Fracture, okay. To be fair, I do think Chapter 4 hasn't been a bad chapter. I think that Chapter 4 has been pretty decent besides Season 3.
The gameplay's been actually rather good. I like the gameplay of this chapter. The storyline and events and skins are non-existent. Everything
Yeah.
but the gameplay is worse than Chapter 3 and Chapter 2 and Chapter 1.
Yeah.
What happened?
I
What happened?
I don't know. Dude, the events, the seasonal events, the summer event of Chapter 4 season. Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, we spray painted this ledge of a rock like purple, and Meowscles is there, and there's a launch pad, and there's coolers. Guys, remember when the summer events, how we would get unvolts every single day? That was amazing.
Mhm.
That was amazing. I remember waking up. What was it called? 14 Days of Summer, season 9, chapter 1. I would wake up every day. Oh, the TAC SMGs unvolted, the pumps unvolted, LMG,
Yep.
amazing.
And
It's such a simple thing.
that's when Donald Mustard had the helm and he was caring about the game.
Exactly.
That just isn't the case anymore. I
Trust
Yeah.
me, guys. I will still love Fortnite for years to come.
Oh,
This
yeah.
game,
Me too.
this game has made my childhood. I started playing this game when I was in 6th grade. I'm about to finish high school. All right, I've been with it for 6 years.
Yep.
Game is amazing.
Yep.
But I feel like as a person that plays it almost daily, usually daily if the season is good, I have the right to be like, I'm seeing a decrease in quality of things that I enjoyed about the game at some point.
Yeah. And you know what's
I can't believe looking, because you're playing the trailer for this season. I can't believe looking back, people went, "This is the season where Fortnite dies." This season was amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like every time a new season comes out, we're like, "This season sucks," and then a year later, we're like, "We miss it," because the game was better at that point in time. I'm not a
Yeah.
chapter 1 meat rider, guys. Let me be clear. I'm not
Chapter
sucking
1
off
meat
chapter
rider.
1. Chapter 2 is peak fiction, by the way. Shout out to all you chapter 2 fans in the crowd. Yo, you, I love you. Chapter 2 good. We didn't fall off. We on top. We on top.
Chapter 2 fell off.
Chapter 3 is easily the worst out of the chapters. Chapter 4 is looking promising with the gameplay. Chapter
Mhm.
2 definitely slams. Chapter 1 is obviously amazing. There's just a decrease in quality that I think Epic once had that is very apparent.
Yeah. And then the other thing that obviously we've been seeing is a beyond Fortnite storyline falling apart and creative taking over as a precedent is the yeah, it's just I don't know. It sucks. It sucks.
Just overall, game is going down a hill. The game is not going to die unless it continues on this path for
What
a
would kill
very long time.
Fortnite? What would actually
I don't think Fortnite's killable unless Epic kills it themselves. If Epic, seeming the way that Epic is acting so corporate now, there's a very big possibility that if Fortnite just stops making them profit, they'll just stop caring about the game.
Yeah.
Honestly. And once they stop caring about the game dies. Let's be real here. Epic carries the game. Like obviously there are like Fortnite private servers, but they're buggy, they're laggy. I don't know anyone
Speaking
that
of
really
private
uses them.
servers,
Yeah.
we've talked about this before.
Oh, we have? Okay.
I don't understand why Fortnite decided to front load all of the server side everything. I understand not wanting microtransactions in your creative game mode from a third party, but like I think Minecraft did it perfectly. I think that you have servers that people pay, that they make their own money, they pay for their own servers, they can manage whatever they need to on their own, and you don't need to do all of that yourself. And it's frustrating that they went the route of we're gonna make it slower so that we have to make all of the decisions. Obviously, it's to keep their cards at because once you give the power to the player, it's hard to take it back. So if there was an issue from doing that, from giving us private server possibility, like actual like Minecraft server level possibility and hosting and giving us more memory and all that, that would open the floodgates for that, but you can't close that back up. And so they went the other way where we have to wait for Epic to figure out everything themselves in an affordable way, and that's just frustratingly slow. Do you think they should have gone with like the Minecraft server? I mean, or do you
That's what I
disagree?
wanted. See, that's actually what I wanted. If you guys don't know, I was really into creative back in the day, so it's actually a shame to see. I had a map that was actually on display for a good amount of time. It was around early chapter 3, late chapter 2. This map called Dilapidated. It was a Rust style survival map. It had at some point like 4,000, 3,000 players on. all at a time actively. It was crazy. I loved that time.
That's cool.
Made good money. Made good money. Shout out to Epic Games. That low-key paid for like Christmas. That was wild. But
Nice.
when I had that, because people were using my support creator. It's a long story. Anyway, guys, when that was going on, I was like, this is a Rust style map. In the game Rust, there are servers that you can join where there are a select amount of people in those servers, and they're custom servers, right? I would have loved it if like you would click on a creative map and be like, I want to go to this server of the creative map with this game. Like there'd be like a creative hub like how we used to have, but in that one creative hub, you would have a game made by this individual creative team or this individual creative person. You can still have that, but they're not popular. There's not 10,000 people on what's that guy's, the guy that made Clicksbox Face, Panville's map search. He has a map where it's literally just a hub of all his maps, and you can go to each one and click on it and play it. But no one's doing that because it's not being advertised. If we had that where it was one hub and there was every single map made by a certain person, or like Fortnite would make a hub, like these are like the 20 most popular maps that aren't like clickbait garbage like Skibbity 28 versus Ohio Sus, it would be amazing. I would apologize to Epic. I'd be like, Epic, I'm sorry. I've been a naughty boy. Punish me, please. I was bad.
I'm really hoping
they aren't doing that.
I'm really hoping Fortnite's the first person mode, and I feel like adding first person mode and possibly adding a new cosmetic type will be a huge step in the right direction. We need something new, and I hope that those two things, mostly the first person mode and wall running, can introduce new types of games to creative. Because right now we're locked to our third person game modes right now. And I think they need to do something different.
Yeah, Fortnite, please hear me out here, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Give us feet trails. You know, like back in like
oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
You know how back in early Fortnite when you would run on the grass, little like white dust particles would come off the back of your heels? That was really cool. My favorite contrails All-Star, they should just give me the ability just to click on the All-Star contrail, just be like enable on feet, and then when I run, like, stars come off my feet, like off my shoes. That'd be really cool.
That would be so fire.
Yeah, no, it would be.
Or weapon stickers. That'd be cool too.
Yeah. No, it even makes sense because when you're gliding with a contrail, they come off your feet. It's just literally just ported it over. It's so easy. Guys, hire me. Epic. I know you just laid off 900 employees. I'm the best out of 1,000. Hire me now.
Before we wrap up, I do want to talk about what are your overall, like, besides this stuff, what have you thought about the new season? I like this season.
Oh, I do like this season. It's very Chapter 2, Season 2 reminiscent, which of course I love. Spies are great, and Heist is amazing. As a person that loves the Payday games, Payday 3 has been dog shit, by the way. The servers have been not running well, but as a fan of Payday 2, I love Heist related stuff, and I think the season's been very good. I'm not super into the Battle Pass. I don't really like Condo Thor, like the one woman. Who's the woman that you're horny for, Snazzy?
Antonia.
that's that's the one. Her?
Bro, you know, she's the baddie, bro. Like, come on.
I mean, that's a fair point. Fish Stick is just whatever. It's just a lot of whatever. I feel like we don't get. I feel like we don't get Fortnite seasons that are themed around a singular topic anymore. It's like, guys, here's the group for the heist, but also here's Star Wars
Time Machine.
Oh my god, Time Machine. Yeah. Like it doesn't make any sense. We okay. The start of Chapter 4 was like medieval themed, and we only got one medieval skin in the Battle Pass. Why? What?
Well, we got Mr. Breast. Dude, we got Mr. Breast. Shut up.
He wasn't in the Battle Pass, but yeah, that season was Mr. Breast themed. I love Mr. Breast. Invite me on a Last to Leave podcast wins $1 million. I would love that.
Dude,
I would
win. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I like this season a lot too. It's a good season. I think that they've got everything in it that would make a good season. It's almost like I feel like it's the season that you put out when you want everyone to forget about the mistakes you're making right now. We all know, like, it literally has every piece of like every season we liked. Like, we have funny fish stick guy, which is basically the Peely of everything.
It's the meme skin. It has a good tier 100. It has AI, it mythics. It even is Halloween themed. Fortnite notoriously is known for Halloween being a good time to play the game. I mean, Fortnite is probably the most beloved Fortnite event ever. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
speaking of that, I'm praying that it's not ass this year.
Oh boy. Because last year was, oh man.
It was
Wow.
very, very bad. Guys, let's do Rick and Morty on the
Well, yeah. Don't get me wrong. The location they added over Gables, that was actually pretty cool. I did like that location. But the mythic wolf things they added were yikes. It was boring. Just overall boring. It's just do something good. Give us things that we want, guys. No one wants Rick and Morty. It's a show that I think is pretty good. But like, guys, give me like Ghostface, Jason Voorhees. Give me Thriller, Michael Jackson. Do something that the community wants.
Well,
and I'm saying this as this is going to cost Epic more money, and then they're going to. But if they do that, then they'll make the money back, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah, you're right. They would. Thriller, do a Thriller dance. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Like no one's not going to buy it unless you're like Michael Jackson #1 hater. I will find you and I will hunt you down.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Well, Robo, would you say that this is good for the? Should we wrap up? Would you say?
I think this is actually a really good. Unironic. Stoked. That was good.
I'm very happy with this episode. I think we're gonna do this like once a week, right? So
yeah. We could do it once a week, maybe every 2 weeks. Depends on what's happening. Talk about. This was obviously like a pretty good length episode. So.
Yeah.
My favorite, actually, before we get off, let's say our favorite things about the podcast. My favorite thing about the podcast was when Snazzy changed the words up there next to my profile, and he also changed the font. I thought that was overall a very great change that he made. So that was my favorite part.
My favorite part was watching videos on the TV in the TV.
Oh yeah, no, it looks amazing. Shout out to me for making this.
This room was made by Robo. With his amazing creative skills. He watched me struggle to make my area.
Oh my god, guys, I'm looking at Snazzy trying to rotate that behind him, and it took him like 3 minutes. It was it was so funny.
Dude, it was torture, I'm gonna be real.
It was hilarious.
Well,
he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Can you do it for me? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
calm down. I got you.
Alright. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Would you like to outro us out, Robo?
Yeah, I'll outro us out. So I guess next episode I'll do the intro. Next episode you'll do the outro.
Yeah.
Well, from Snazzy Blocks Twitter and RoboMan YouTube, this has been the EgoSurf Podcast, and we're signing out.
Peace out.